Hi everyone, this is Brian coming to you again with my second video, which is a review of Expert Grading Services, which is a comic book grading company that is based out of Florida. Obviously, you know, there are CGC and CBCS books along with even PGS, but this kind of fourth company that nobody's really mentioned or even talked about does grading book services. And you know, back earlier in this year, I did submit a batch of books to them, and I was very happy with what I received, especially since a lot of these books were going into my personal collection, not so much for the turn around and resell. But I was happy enough that I ended up sending them a second, much bigger batch of books. I think all in all, I've probably sent around 7 or 8 books, along with some pressing and additionally with some signature verifications on at least one of them. So with that, I will get into the video. I've already sort of opened up the box here. As you can see here, they've got some pretty good styrofoam. I might end up using that later if I go in and present my books. But as you can see here, this is the batch of books that I submitted. And with that, I'll go through each one of them, kind of do a review, see if I agree with them or not, and also take a look at the overall conditions of the slabs. Now, one of the things that I do want to remind you, and this is something that the owner reached out to me, was regarding the actual case itself. So this is one of the books that I had graded for them on my first batch, and as you can see here, it's actually pretty thin. It's got its own security seal along with you know, the grading, the title of the book, the significance of the book, and you know, the EGS certification itself. Now, comparing that to, let's say, a CGC book, I'll do a side by side, and you can kind of tell what the thickness is on these. And overall, I mean, they're pretty durable, and I think this is really good just going into my own personal collection. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'll go through these one by one. Now, mind you, I sent these books back in April, and I have the list of books that I sent off. I just don't remember what the titles were, or well, at least I remember some of the titles, but I don't know what the grades are. So as we pull them, you're going to find out the grades exactly as I do. And I'll kind of give you an impression on whether or not I agree with that or not, and go from there. All right, so the first one is, what do we got? All right, so we got Venom Carnage number 4. Here we see, actually, the first thing that I'm noticing right off the back here is that the comic books themselves actually got much improved. Wow. So I can tell immediately off the back, right in the middle, they have the book encased with the environmental seal, and then also clamped into the case itself. But what I'm noticing is that they are not the same cases as their original books. They are more reminiscent of the CGC slabs. So first batch sent off, here's EGS book. Second batch, second EGS book that I just received. Let's do a side-by-side comparison on these two. And you can tell right off the back, they're already thicker and more robust. And not only that, but they're on the bottom, they don't have the security seal. Interesting. So I'm wondering if they are making strides towards what CGC and CBCS are doing. Now, to do a comparison to a CGC book, and this is my Secret Wars 9.8. We'll do a side-by-side on those. And yeah, I can tell that they're about the same thickness here. Now let's give it the old, oh, wow, that's not good. That's kind of pretty cheap quality right there. Also, do I agree that this book is a 6.0? I do, mainly because there are a lot of nicks along the spine here, and there's some pretty good warpage on the book itself. I could also see some waviness up on the top edge. Also, now with this book, I did submit it with a certificate of authenticity that came with the book. And then also I see here that EGS did provide their own certificate of authenticity. And I can tell right off the back that's not within the book itself. So again, Venom Carnage #4, such a cool cover, signed by the man himself, Clayton Crane. And as you can see here, they did stick with the industry standard on the yellow label for signature series. But overall, based off of the condition of the slab, I think there's probably room for improvement, but they are definitely stepping in the right direction. All right, next book. Annihilation Conquest. So each of these books, it seems, are going to be coming with a certificate of authenticity. This one came in at a 9.4. And the thing that I'm noticing right off the back is that, you know, with CGC books, you get a lot of flatness in the book itself within that preservation packet. What I'm noticing here, and even on the first book, is that there's a bit of bowing, kind of like a concavity to the cover itself, along with this Annihilation. So, do I agree that this one is a 9.4? Nah, I guess I have no reason to argue against it. But the thing that I'm noticing now also is that the I don't know if you can see it on this screen, but the title here is actually flush against the casing, whereas on the Annihilation Conquest, it's actually sitting a little bit further back. It's almost at an angle. That's pretty weird. I've never seen that before. Nevertheless, we will move on. So, oh, all right, I forgot that I sent this one in. Thor 165, first full appearance of him, which is Adam Warlock. And in this case, I received a 0.5 on this book, which really I can't argue against because it has the iconic him torn off on the corner, as well as some pretty significant damage here on the spine, also up on the other top corner, as well as the back. But a 0.5 to me, I don't know, that seemed a bit harsh, but I'm no expert. I'll take it. Again, this is one of those books that are going into my personal collection, and I'm just happy to have it, especially with the new Guardians of the Galaxy coming out. All right, next book. All right, so we have Thor #2, first full appearance of Jane Foster as Thor. Now, admittedly, this book probably would have been awesome to have before Thor Love and Thunder came out. But regardless, I'm pretty stoked to have this book in my collection. I don't agree that this is a 9.6. This is one of the books that I really thought was going to have a 9.8 quality to it. I'm not entirely sure why they did it. Slight scuff top and bottom left corner front cover. Line spine stress front cover. I don't know, maybe I guess if it hits at the right angle, an argument could be made for that. But 9.6, very good. Not a 9.8, but still happy to take it. Love the cover. Next book. Oh, how cool is this cover here? And in a 9.8, we've got Strange #1 variant cover. Ooh, yeah, this is the iconic art germ art quality that you get on these books here, and I'm just stoked to have this one. Now this one did say that it had a slight scuff top and bottom left corner, but regardless, this is a pretty new book, so surprisingly it did not get a 9.8. But one of the things that is throwing me for a loop now, and this probably just attests to the quality of the book here, but I don't know if you can see that little piece of plastic in there, but that is inside the book. Let me see. No, that seems to be stuck in there. What I'm worried about is that pressing against the book itself, or is that pressing against the environmental package? Well, that's disappointing. I was really excited to have this book displayed up on the wall. I like to try and rotate my books up on the wall so I can just have that iconic good art up on display. But seeing that, I don't know. I think there's some pretty big room for improvement on there. Kind of disappointing. All right, next book. Let's see what we got. All right, we've got Marvel Spotlight #32, first appearance of Spider-Woman. Again, this is a pretty, well, in my opinion, it was a pretty nice cover, but I guess the graders over at EGS did not think so. It got a 2.0. So this one had a pretty significant amount of comments associated with it. And that's about what you can expect as far as comments are concerned. Now, if you want to keep those, you're going to have to keep the certificate of authenticity, because as far as I've seen, there's been no membership or any type of information as a customer before your books are received. All right, so again, Spider-Woman #32. Next up. She-Hulk. Yes, #1, first full appearance of She-Hulk. Now this, I remember specifically that this is the book that I wanted to have pressed and improved upon, hoping that it would get a nice grade on it. But even at the pressing, which I could tell has no significant waviness on the cover itself or on the back, but it did lend itself to a 6.5, which is kind of surprising. Regardless, still an amazing looking cover, amazing looking book. Glad to have this one in the personal collection. Wish I did have it at a higher grade, but the other thing that I'm really kind of disappointed in, and hopefully they improve upon this on future gradings if anybody does submit them, is the, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bit of waviness going on. And then the book itself, I'm sorry, the header itself is kind of canted back at an angle there. All right, we're down to 4 left. Ooh, the New Avengers, first appearance of the Illuminati. Now, how freaking cool is that book right there, right? How awesome is that artwork? We got this one at a 5.0. Again, the header title is kind of canted at the top. Corner stuff, bottom left corner, front cover, spine stress lines, front and back cover, stress lines on front cover. So on this book itself, it doesn't have the concavity feature associated with it. This one is pressing down against the back, so it does look like more of a book that you would get from like CGC or CBCS. But again, man, I can't get over that sort of tilt on the title. Because, you know, I don't know about you, but when I look at a book, I look at it holistically and I think, okay, how crisp, how clean, how straight lines are these books here? And I'm just not getting that with this EGS here. All right, next book, what do we got? Oh yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, number 252, first appearance of the black costume in a 1.0. Now, do I agree that this one? Yeah, I could certainly agree with the grading on this. I didn't have this one pressed, but if you could see, it has a lot of color breaks up on the cover. The spine here has a pretty good amount of nicks. It is newsstand. However, that did not get it any due credit on this particular book. But still, how cool is this book to have, right? Now, I do have one up in a higher grade. And it's cool to have the second book, so I might end up turning around and seeing if anybody's interested in buying this one. Obviously, it's not going to reach CGC prices, but you know, if you are interested, hey, reach out. We could certainly have a conversation. All right, second to last book. Let's see what we got. Oh man, Black Panther number 3, first appearance of Tosin. Now this is a hot book to have, and I am super stoked that it came in at a 9.8. How fantastic is that? And out of all of the books that are graded, this one does have the header that is perfectly in line and not as canted as the rest of the books. But let's see. Let's do the shake test and see how it looks. You can hear some movement in there. There's some movement in there. I don't necessarily think that's the book moving within the shielding, but I don't know. Let's see. Let's give this CGC book. No movement within there. So it makes me wonder if that's not even like secure, or if there's room for the book itself to be damaged. All right, on to the next one. And the final one. Let's see what we got. All right, Batman Beyond the White Knight. This is also in a 9.8, and man, just how cool is that cover right there? Fantastic artwork. And again, you can hear it. All right. So that is it. That is all of the books that I had graded on this go around. Overall impression is, you know, honestly, had I known that the new slabs that EGS are putting out were of this quality, I probably would have stuck with the original, even though they're more of a do-it-yourself type grading. But with those, at least they have some security associated with them for the book on the inside. That it just does not seem to be the case with this batch of books here. To me, that just doesn't sound like it's secure, doesn't sound sturdy. But overall, pretty happy with the books that I did receive. Some of the books that I were expecting at a higher grade maybe didn't reach that, but you know, we didn't get completely blasted on the grading services themselves. But with that concludes the video. I really hope that you got some information out of this if you were considering submitting your books to EGS. In addition to these books here, I also do submit books to CGC for submission. In fact, I just received 2 in, which I'll probably be doing another video on. And I should be receiving several more books here in the near future, and we can do a video on those as well. What I am hoping to do is set up a online website in order to turn around and sell some of these comic book slabs, whether it's EGS, CBCS, CGC. In fact, some of the books that I have up here on the wall are probably going to be rotated in and out and probably put up for sale. So look for that in the near future. I'll be posting the sale link up on this video, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Let me know. Always happy to help. Always happy to give information on comic books. Thank you.